this is I have to redo some of the videos because they've been dumping them. So I just want to go over the basics again. Some of you have already heard this, so I apologize. But what I ended up figuring out is through Edward Leeds Scanlon's Coral Castle. That's Homestead, Florida, Edward Leeds Scanlon. I doubled this image and I came up with this. And Edward was holding up a little book and it said, "A book in every home," and I realized what Edward is saying is everything in this castle is found in the Bible. All right? So I looked at this double image and I'm like, what is that? And I realized this is Behemoth and Leviathan. So this led me to a whole series of images like this where I moved it in and out. One of them, I don't know if you can see over in that corner over there, but that's the Tara Buddha, because Edward was into Eastern mysticism as well as Christianity. Okay? So one day I was looking at the periodic table and I said, hey, I wonder if I do this to that, what I get. And I came up with this and I'm like, that looks very familiar. So I realized after a couple days of looking at this, I said, well, I'll be damned, that's King Solomon's temple. I'd recognize it anyway. I couldn't believe it took me it was like 2 or 3 days. And then I walked around for about 2 or 3 weeks not believing my eyes. And the first question that came to mind was, I can't be the first one who figured this out. So I realized I'm not the first one to make this leap. Somebody was here before me. And they got some splaining to do because Jesus was very specific. He said, what I tell you in the ear, you yell from the rooftops. He said, you don't take a candle and put it under a basket, you'll set the basket on fire. So the people that were in charge of when they discovered the periodic table started coming together as you see it here, somebody made this connection a long time ago, like back in the 1800s. And this kind of got me scared because I'm like, why would they cover that up? And the answer is right here. See that pyramid on my face? Breathes in and out? Yeah, that's the key. Why would they hide that? So this teal, white, and black, you see it only once on these graphics, but on the updated version, it's up here where these magnets are, and in this row here where molybdenum, niobium, and technetium are. That's Moses and Enoch. That's what they represent. So there's one row here on your center line of your body. There's one row here and one row down here. And whenever you see in groups of 3, that's always the 3 pyramid complex in Egypt. And I'm handing this to you on a platter. This took me a long time to sort this out because this is the once great pyramid. This is Khufu. And the star shafts, quote unquote star shafts, are ATGC. That's these guys. Alexander the Great was a what? Conqueror. And King Arthur pulling the sword out of, he pulled the sword out of, can't think of it. But anyway, these 3 rows, individually, this way, are the 3 pyramids, but also this way, and this way. The pattern kept repeating. And I'm like, why is this? It's maddening. It just keeps showing itself, not just horizontally, but vertically. And then all the pieces started coming together. And you realize everything in science is connected to this. It's these right here. It's one cup inside of another cup inside of another cup. That's the 3 pyramids go just like that. All things are connected to this concept right here. All of them. That took me a long time to sort this out. I'm like, the pyramids aren't just spread out, they're stacked up. You think about what happened when God took Eve from man. That is what happened in the periodic order when Lucifer left the Holy of Holies as H3 tritium, which sits over fluorine. Okay, that's this button here. And then Lucifer fell, got demoted because he demanded to be worshipped as God. So inside of Lucifer at this juncture, all these three were stacked up inside of each other in this position. So when Lucifer fell, this is what happened. Cup number 2. The periodic order grew by another third because the periodic table was shorter. And then when Lucifer finally rebelled, now you have the three separated. And what happened with Eve? The same thing. She came out of Adam, and then she stopped listening to Adam, and she ate the fruit. You see the pattern, how it replicates? So, Excalibur, that's the name I couldn't remember. King Arthur pulled Excalibur out of the rock. That is the northern shafts. I've already covered it in other videos. I won't get into it. But anyway, I began to realize the reason that they covered this up is they believed the Great Pyramid in Egypt was God. And once they realized the truth, the people at the very top, they said, shush. Don't tell anyone. They're convinced that Lucifer and Satan are God. They didn't get the memo. So this whole thing that I'm bringing to you is to drill into your head why this was all covered up back in the 1800s. And then they started attacking the church full force. That whole Scopes monkey trial, it just got worse and worse and worse. Okay? And this is why. They were covering up this and the fact that they believe hydrogen is God. They don't believe that there's a separation. They don't believe that God exists outside of this whole framework. They believe that, no, God is the devil, cleverly disguised. So anyway, I just wanted to go over the basics, and this is the Genesis chapter 49 zodiac using Jacob's 12 boys. 2 of them are the Gemini twins, and the one girl, Dinah, who is Virgo. All right, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Just give you the basics today. And we'll get into this right here in the next video, which is the FSC, fine structure constant. And by the way, this is all for entertainment purposes only. EPO, that's your warning, all right? I wrote it down. Peace out.